Hi you guys, it's Lisa. Thanks for coming back to my channel this week. Another art journal page. In this art journal, we're getting close to the end. I think I will work on this page here because we're going to do an underwater scene, and this was already ready for me, and I thought it kind of looked like underwater. So I'll get my journal set up so that we can have this background, and I'll show you what I have pulled out for my inspiration, okay? All right, so in my calendar, which is this by Marjolaine Baston, I absolutely love this illustrator. She has so many cool pages in this calendar that I could not leave them in here without pulling one for an art journal page. So that's where this came from. This one is sea turtle and fishes and a little seahorse. And the saying or sentiment on here, it says, living the dream. Well, I've been spending some time at the pool this summer. It's been very, very hot here. And so I pulled this page out and I thought we could create a underwater scene of sorts. So we're going to use this. I'm going to cut out all of these images by hand. You know, I love to do that. I pulled out this stamp that is by Whippersnapper Designs, and the name of it is Nautical Adventure, and I love this girl underwater, and I may use these fishes, I'm not sure, but I thought maybe I would just stick with the fishes that I have here, the fish that I have here. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to stamp this on a piece of maybe manila envelope or something like that so that I can color it in, cut it out. I have an image from my stamps that says just keep swimming, and I think that may be our sentiment. And this is by Trinity Stamps, something I haven't used yet. I did pull out this stamp here, and not sure where it's from, but it kind of looked like underwater. I don't know if I'll use it or not, but I pulled it out so that we could have that for an option. And then one of my favorite die cuts are this coral reef, and I definitely want to cut that out. So I'm going to actually stamp this onto some manila folder also and cut out some of these so I can use that in my layout. And there it is right there. So let me go ahead and get these images all ready for us, and then we will go ahead and work in our art journal page, and we will see what we can come up with. Okay, so I'll be right back when I have everything cut out and ready to go for us. Okay, here we go. I'm back, and I've had lots of inspiration since I left you, but let's catch you up. So what I did is I wrapped my journal today. I got an A for that, right? A lot of times we don't feel like, oh, we don't want to wrap our journal, take the time for it. But if you don't, trust me, you wreck pages. I have wrecked many a page. So I did that, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to work on this one, like I said, so I can set it here for us to work on. I thought maybe I wanted to do some light green stenciling, and I got out a Sean Petit stencil, and this was garden number 2. It looked like seaweed to me, so there was that inspiration. I grabbed out some Simon Says Stamp ink in Willow, which is a dye ink, and I grabbed a brush. I haven't stenciled in a bit, I will tell you. So this is really quite fun that this inspiration kind of took over for me today. I'm excited to see how things turn out. So I'm just using my ink, and I'm not worried about if this ink pad is a little dried out or not. To tell you the truth, I don't use a lot of colored inks, so I'm just happy to be using it right now. I'm not going to worry about it, think about it. I'm just going to do, right? And if we don't like it, we'll cover it up with something else. So I'm going to put a couple maybe floating around the edge, and if we want more later, we can always come back, and it doesn't have to be 100%, right? So to go on this side, I just flip the stencil over. What do you think about that? And I'm going to put a couple on this side, maybe just to balance it. And again, it's an art journal page. Let's not really worry about it. This is where we come up with ideas. We maybe just want to have some fun and no pressure. I'm trying to get together a art journal group on Wednesday nights, and I put a little event together, and I'm hoping maybe that will take shape. Okay, so I just did 4 of them, no big deal. I'm going to keep the stencil out. Again, Sean Petit Garden number 2 is that stencil. Also, I had another Sean Petit stencil when I was digging through my stencils, and that's how inspiration strikes, right? So this has some really cool nautical ones on there, but I think with the girl and the fish and everything going on, it might be just a little too much. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to put it right up here, and I'm just going to use some of this Altenew embossing paste I found in my stash. That's what it looks like, and it says it's opaque white. So I've moved a few things around in my craft room over the last few weeks, and I'm really excited about using some things up. I have not stenciled in a long time either. So look what's happening. By moving some things around in my art space, giving it a little bit of a refresh, I got things out and I got moving in a different direction that I haven't been in a while. So I am super fine with that. Okay? That looks cool. Let me get it up to you if I possibly can. That looks cool. So this is going to dry, and that's why I wanted to do it real quick as kind of an intermission, because this is going to need to dry. And I just used one of these silicone brushes by Art Basics to put on that stenciled image right there. I also found this stencil in my stash, and I thought maybe bubbles coming up from the bottom. See, once you start looking at different things that you haven't looked at in a while, your mind just starts pinging. At least mine does. Sorry about the train. Nothing I can do about it. But since I have the stuff out, that's way too much. Try not to waste it. Go for it, right? It's your art journal page, no one else's. No one can take away this practice from you today. I have to work in a little bit here, so kind of rushing, but I'm not going to let it be stolen away from me. So there, I've got a few things to take downstairs and wash up, and you can see the cool bubbles coming up from the bottom. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, I'm going to take these downstairs and wash them. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you quick what I did set this aside, with my animals. So I cut those all out, not my animals, my turtles, my mammals, right? My fish. I cut those out of that calendar page. And then when I was digging through, they're all here cut out. When I was digging through my stamp set, I was so happy to find this set of shells and seaweed that I had already stamped. So I just colored it and cut it out. So I have that ready to go. And I'll show you the process of cutting out and coloring since I have you here. So here is that seaweed. I stamped it with my black acrylic ink, stamped it out, and then I took matte medium and did a layer over the top of the image. And the reason I did that with my brush, just like this, and let it dry, is so that I have a non-porous surface. Okay? So that is important. Why? That is important because I want to take, and I did it over all of these images, I want to take my Pitt Artist pens by Faber-Castell and color these, and by having a non-porous surface, non-porous. So the paint is not going to sink in to the paper anymore. Confusing myself. I'll be able to use different colors, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm doing it really quickly here to show you because I have those stencils that are drying on my desk here, and I got to get them in water. So I'm cutting these out, right? So I don't have to be worried about going outside the lines, right? So don't worry about that. So this is really fun. Let me zoom in. Zoom in a little bit for you. You have a few seconds to blend them. And these markers are super fun in that technique. This red one is definitely running out, so I'm going to set that up on its end and try a different color. I think maybe this color will be safe. And you can see I really kind of want that red back, don't I? This red coral. But if I just dab it like this, maybe I can get enough from the edge. Don't worry about going outside the lines. This is my kind of coloring, right? And then I have the die. I'm going to take it downstairs into my card making area, and I'm going to die cut all of these out. And we're going to have some really, really cool things. Okay, so I'm going to do all of these off camera so I can get my stencils in the water downstairs. These will be all finished when you come back. And I'll also do these words here. I'm going to try and wipe off my finger here so I don't have orange all over them. But let's try this with the pink here. Put a little down. And I am going to cut these out. I know you think I'm crazy, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. I think it'll be really neat. Okay? So stick with me. I'm going to work on all of these letters. I'm going to work on getting my stuff into the water and coloring with my finger. And let's not forget our lady. Where'd she go? Here she is. Our swimmer. So I'm going to work on her down here too and cut her out, and the fish. So I've got some work to do. If you're following along with me, get your supplies out and let's get started. You have a few steps to catch up on, right? Get your background out, choose your background, figure out if you have any stamps or any calendar pieces that go with a nautical theme. Get your creative juices flowing, and I'll be back in a little bit with lots to show you, okay? Okay, I have a lot going on here, but I'm going to finish this art journal page if it kills me. So remember these? I got them all cut out like this, yes. Here's my swimmer lady. I got to do some work on her eyeballs. Fish down here. And when I cut all that stuff out, I put them in one of these little containers that I got at a used craft sale, and then it keeps everything together. I can work on this project downstairs. I inked all the edges with my sponge dauber and my brown distress ink. So I did all the edges. I got all those cut out. Stuff falling down. And then I thought about, okay, how am I going to stick it down to my art journal page? Because here's our art journal page, and it's all dry. We've got that texture in the background there, which is a cool effect. So I was thinking, as I usually am, I got this at a rummage sale. It is a Xyron Model 900. It's a big one, a big Bertha Xyron machine. And if you know anything about a Xyron machine, it makes your images into stickers. Yes, stickers. So I got that out, and I want to tell you, here is the cartridge that goes in it. It has a cartridge in there, and it's sticker paper, and I'll show you how it works. I got this cartridge, never opened, and the machine at a rummage sale for $10. I have no idea how much they cost, but I knew that was a good deal. I put it right in the truck. So, quite funny. But, so, here we go. This is what a Xyron machine does. You take your images like this. You stick them right in here till you can't stick them in no more. Kind of has a stop on it. And I'm going to do my 3 pieces. I'm sticking them in, just pushing them as far as I can. And then there's a crank here, and you roll it, and out comes, on the other side, your stickers. You push this orange button down here, and it's got a blade on it, and it cuts it out. And your images are turned into stickers. So I don't use a lot of this technique, but I had this machine, you know, got that great deal on it. So I thought, hey, let's try that, right? So off camera, I did all of the, what do you call it? Algae, coral reef. Okay, so we've got those images. I got a couple left in this container. And then I did my fish. I didn't do all the fish because it seems like I've got a lot going on in this art journal page. And I want to finish today, so I'm determined. So we'll just set these little fish aside that I haven't made into stickers yet. And they'll probably go into a different art journal page or something. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Sorry if I feel like I'm cruising right through this, but this has taken me like a week. So let's kind of think about what we're going to do. I'm going to rub my plastic onto my sticker paper. And I'm just going to remove this. This goes in the garbage. And then here you have your stickers on the sheet. And it's just that easy. Isn't that the coolest thing? I think it is the coolest thing. Okay, I'm trying to get me in the view here. A lot going on. So I'm not going to smack them down completely. I'm just going to kind of audition things. You know how I like to say, audition your work, you know, before you commit totally. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put this big turtle in the mix because he's so big. I want to get the big elements in first. And isn't that turtle just the coolest? So obviously he's going to go up here, right? Because he's coming in onto the page, right? Oh, it's so cool. I love it. And then where's our girl going to go? Because she's kind of our focal, right? We'll put her just tentatively. And I don't want to put her right in the middle, right? We need it off to the side a little bit. This great big shell. It may be too big. Yeah, it may be too big for the page, but not really. It's going to cover this up, but I don't really care that it does. So I like it down there, okay? Gives it a little proportion. And then I've got this saying, and that is just keep swimming. I have had some setbacks recently with my art business, as you can say. I had a class at Shake Rag Alley that didn't happen because of lack of participation, which, you know, could be several things. It could be the economy. It could be that it's summer and everybody's busy. It could be that it was priced too high, maybe, you know, all kinds of different things. But, you know, that happened. Not a big deal. And, you know, just some other things that's not worth mentioning, wasting your time. So this kind of is a fun art journal page for me, telling me just keep swimming. And I have been spending some time at the pool. So here's my just. I don't know where my keep. Oh, here it is. Keep is on this page. Now I'm wondering, you see how this still has sticky paper on here. I think that if I cut this like this, I might be able to use that sticky in the future, but I'm not sure. But I'm going to just set it aside to try it. I'm not going to throw it away. Okay, here's my keep. Yes, I did fussy cut all of this out by hand. Oops. But I like to do that, so it didn't bother me. The girls were over this weekend for a little stamping, card making, and giggling and talking about our husbands, probably. And I sat and did this mostly, colored and cut out. See, now I think this is a little just too big. So I'm going to just take this and stick it back on this paper because it will still be sticky, right? I hope. So I'm going to do that and set it aside. I want more, I think, oranges and red corals. And I even kind of want to give it some dimension as I did on that one page with the flamingo and the leaves. I really liked how that one turned out. So here we go. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. And maybe I better alternate orange and green so that we can see it real well. Oh, this is just great fun. This is exactly what I needed. Yeah, so start an art journal page and have some fun. That's what it's supposed to be, right? Just keep swimming. I like her kind of going through the seaweed. What do you think? And maybe would there be some up here hanging down? I don't think so, huh? But maybe some down here. Okay, I'm kind of committing to this. I'm going to kind of just rip this piece off. Maybe stick a orange one here. And this green one over a little bit. How's that look? Woo! I like it. I'm kind of committing. Okay, so I still have more fish, but I have this slippery paper here. Here's another piece that the stickers were on. I'm kind of going to turn it over, and I'm going to rub my hand, and that's going to stick the images down really well now that I felt like I could commit. Mr. Turtle. He's in a good spot. And I might need a little bit of glue, and I have all kinds of that if I need to put some more glue down. I'm going to wait on these guys, and then I have more fish here that were made into stickers. So he could go up here. I think maybe kind of like this one coming from behind the turtle. If I can get that back up. It really stuck down good. Kind of like this. I like him over there. And I like her there. I think it might be enough. Maybe this one up here. And I'll just cut that. That would be a good one. And I'm going to save this one right here. And let me just cut this. There, that looks good. And scoot him up just a little bit so he's right in the crack. Ooh, I like that. Yep. And she's down. Ooh, I really like how this turned out. I'm going to put some glue under some of these things that may be sticking out. But you know what? I kind of don't mind the dimension. Like I said, use some of these glue dots, or I call them glue boogers, and we're just going to rip some of this coral in half like we did earlier, and I'm just going to pop some of it up so it gives a really cool dimension, like that turtle is swimming behind and through the coral. Let's see. Oh yeah, I like it. Pop this one up. Couple more. So I will continue to do this. I do want to give my girl some eyeballs. I have a black marker, and she just needs some eyeballs here, and I'm going to let that dry. And then what I'm going to do, I thought, is glossy accents her goggles. Maybe even in glossy accents her goggles like that. And then in this blue, I'm going to make some bubbles that are going to go up from her snorkel. Oh, won't that look cool? All right, so stay tuned to the end. You'll see all the final finishing details. And if anything gets too crazy, I'll stop back in to make sure I tell you what I did. But I really, really love it. I'm going to use this one over here yet and just pop up some more to give it that dimension. I really like that. Okay? So thanks for sticking to the end. It feels like it has been a long journey on this art journal page just because it took me a whole week to do with my busy schedule. So here's glossy accents, and I'm going to put that in the lens of her goggles, and it's going to look 3D because it will stay dimensional and it'll dry clear. So isn't that the coolest thing ever? Yes. I'm going to probably, because you know me, use my white pen here, put some highlights where it needed to be, maybe outline my keep swimming in black with my marker after everything is dry. I'll show you pictures at the end. All right? Thanks, you guys. Keep creating. It's hard to show you this because it's awkward. Keep creating. look for the pictures at the end, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.